What's up? It's your boy Will. Welcome back with another episode of the TheWilkEdition. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell button so you know every time I'm live and you'll never miss a show. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the Nuggets beat the Spurs to get the third seed. Jokic played the first half. Victor didn't even play the entire game. It was pretty competitive. The Spurs wasn't really playing for anything. Denver technically wasn't playing for anything, but they were playing for something. So I'll break it down a little bit more here. So we have the postseason seeds. So since Denver won, and the Lakers also won, but if Denver would have lost, the Lakers would have took the 3 seed, and Denver would have been the 4 seed, and then it'd been a whole different playoff matchup. So that's not what we got. The Lakers are the 4 seed, so that means we get Houston the first round, and Denver gets the 3 seed, and Denver gets Minnesota the first round. So that's how the playoffs are stacking up. We have a play-in tournament that got implemented a few years ago. So just to go over the basis of the play-in tournament, because some people may not know that there's a play-in tournament or how it even works. So the teams are ranked from the 7th seed to the 10th seed, and you play one game. Well, you would depend on your seed, and you'll play one game or you'll play 2 games. So we have the 7th seed, which is the Phoenix Suns. They'll be playing Portland, the 8th seed, and the 9th seed is the Clippers, and they'll play the Golden State Warriors, who are the 10th seed. So the way it works is 9 to play 10, and whoever wins that matchup will play the loser of 7 and 8. The winner of 7 and 8 gets the 7th seed, and then they have another chance to play again. And the winner of that matchup, whether it's the Clippers or the Golden State Warriors, they'll play Portland for the 8th seed. And you see, in the first round, the matchups are already set. So one would play 8, two would play 7, and then you got 3-6, which is Denver, Minnesota, and you had the Los Angeles Lakers at the 4th seed, and they'll be playing the Houston Rockets at the 5 seed. All right, so uh, yeah, so we have some big time matchups that are coming up, and we're going to get into those matchups. So the first round matchup we have is the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. These two teams played a few years back. Uh, Denver actually went up 2-0 on Minnesota, and Minnesota came all the way back and beat Denver in 6. They won 4 straight. So the way I see this matchup coming out this go around, I actually have Denver beating Minnesota. I'm gonna say in 5, and the only reason why I'm gonna say that is because Anthony. I don't know how Anthony Edwards is going to play coming off his injury. He is ant. He is box office. He's big time. He definitely can swing an entire series. I'm not really worrying about Jokic. He gonna get his numbers. He have his way with Rudy Gobert every time he match up with him. So, and then we have to see how Aaron Gordon and their bench, how they perform. Minnesota do have a lot of defenders as far as bodies they can throw at Jokic and throw at Jamal Murray. It should be pretty interesting. Uh, it's going to be one of those series that you don't want to miss. So if you're able to watch any of those games, I would highly recommend you tune into that series for sure, because it's a lot of really good matchups that are going to be going on. So like I said, we had the playing tournament. It starts on Tuesday. We have the Phoenix Suns playing the Portland Trailblazers, and we have on the East, which I'm gonna get into as well. On the East Coast, we have the Miami Heat playing the Charlotte Hornets, who are really hot right now, and I actually have the Charlotte Hornets in that series. So those are the games for Tuesday, and then we have games on Wednesday. We have the Orlando Magic playing the Philadelphia 76ers, and we have the Golden State Warriors playing the Clippers. So that's basically the first round of the play-in. So those results, and then whoever wins or loses will play on Friday, and then the playoffs themselves start on the 18th, which is Saturday. So they got like a day or a couple days in between to get rest, and they got to get right back into it. So that's one of the advantages of not having to be in the play-in. That's why I'm a Lakers fan, as you can see. That's why I was ecstatic that we were playing so well and we were able to get into the 3 seed, avoid the play-in. Because in the play-in, anything can happen. It's like sudden death. You only got one game, so we didn't have to play in the play-in, but and we have some really good matchups. Like I said, Detroit is the number one team in the East. You got first round Cleveland, Atlanta. I got some friends who are, big Cleveland fans and Atlanta fans, so I'm gonna definitely be tuning to that matchup. Uh, we have the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors in that series, and then Boston gonna wait on whoever plays seven, and like I said, Detroit's one, so they waiting on play in stuff right now. Uh, and then like I said, I already touched on the Western standings. So yeah, Nuggets T Wolves is gonna be a really good game. A really good game on that one. And then we have another matchup that I'm really gonna be tuning into. It's gonna be my Lakers. We got the fourth seed, so we get the Rockets in the first round. Um, I ain't gonna lie. I have no expectations. We lost our two best players to injury like last week, maybe a week and a half ago. So we lost Luka to a hamstring, and we lost Austin to an oblique injury. So yeah, and, they've been putting out news and reports and stuff, trying to get my hopes up. I'm not getting my hopes up, just for that reason of the heartache that's gonna come when we lose. But we still got LeBron. And, I ain't gonna lose faith. Like we still got Bron. I think LeBron can get us 2 games. We need everybody to step up. I'm talking Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, Rui, shit, Bronny. We need everybody to do their part. Cause in playoff games, you have your superstars, so your stars have to show up. They have to show up in the playoffs. So you got stars, and then you have role players. Then you have swing players. So swing players are those players that can swing a series. They can have a breakout game, or you know, I give you an example. A swing player for the Lakers is Rui. They don't really ask him, "Hey Rui, we need you to do X, Y, and Z." But now we got injuries. Hey Rui, we're gonna need you to do a little bit more. He shot around about 44% from three, which is pretty good. He 6'7", 6'8". He can defend well. He can rebound. He got to do a little more. All right, but he's a swing player, so we need all our swing players. You got a few of them, but he's like the main swing player because we know LeBron gonna show up. We need swing players to show up. We need DeAndre Ayton to show up. Now, if he can give us 20 and 10 he gonna have to be a every night. It can't be a every other night because we ain't got that many games and we already down. So, as a former number one overall pick, you need to play like a former number one overall pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you 27, 28 years old, you 7 foot. I need you to play like you 7 feet. I wasn't blessed to be 7 foot. You 7 foot. I need you to be 7 feet. Effort, rebounding, blocks. Shit, I need you to score. Most you can get 10, 15 points just running the floor. So if you can do that, that'll help LeBron out a lot because LeBron is going to come out and he's been aggressive these last few games. He's going to stay aggressive. Don't try. Look, you gonna get your assists, but I need LeBron James to be LeBron James because if LeBron is LeBron James, that makes a lot of things easier for everybody, for everybody, for everybody, for everybody. We're gonna need LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, as far as you know, the Lakers in the first round in the 7 game series, so it's the first of four. One game at a time. I'm not trying to go ahead. I ain't got trying to be too biased. I know LeBron can get us 2 games. So if the Lakers win, might have to win in 7. But we might have to win in 6 because if we got a chance to close them out, we're gonna have to close them out. So I'm gonna stay. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna stick with my team. I'm gonna say Lakers in 6. And the only way we can get Lakers in 6, we gotta take care. We got home court. We gotta take care of home court advantage. We gotta win the games at home. Role players, swing players, they usually play better at home. All right, boom. We gotta take care of business. We gotta get at least one game in Houston. But if Houston drop game 3, if we go up 2-0, okay, then it's so many different scenarios right now. Right now, we just trying to see if everybody how healthy everybody can get. We game planning for Houston. We got a week of rest. That rest gonna definitely help LeBron. Should help everybody else get in the rhythm, get the game plan, get know what type of energy they need to bring, and that starts with LeBron James. He gonna set the tone, and everybody else will follow suit. All right. So those are my key highlighted matchups that I'm looking forward to in this first round. I don't know which ones y'all looking forward to because y'all might be on the East Coast, and I'm gonna talk about those as well. But my highlighted matchups that I want to see, that I'm looking forward to, is the Lakers, Rockets, and then Denver, Minnesota, which should be pretty nice. This is what the East playoff matchup looks like. So of course we got Detroit. They back in the playoffs, playing really well. 60-win team. Cade came back from a collapsed lung. I didn't think he was gonna come back for that. They didn't know when. So they're at full strength. All their players back, healthy. Detroit is gonna be locked in. So whoever gonna get that AFC gonna have they might get swept. I ain't gonna lie. Boston, the 2 seed. Jason Tatum came back from injury, playing well. So they're basically at full strength. They got all their role players, all their star players. Boston's going to be a tough out for anybody. You got your Knicks at 3, Cleveland at 4, Toronto at 5, and Atlanta at 6. So my boy Thug, I know he excited about that one because he's a real big Hawks fan, and he's been excited about that young team. And I didn't believe him. He said that they was better without Trey Young, and I have to concede they might be better without Trey Young. Now, granted, Trey Young went to an Eastern Conference Finals, so that's almost like the bar for Atlanta, in my opinion. Of are they better without Trey? We'll see. All right. So the East is horrible, y'all. I'm gonna just go ahead and get it out of the way. The East is horrible. Like these teams are, they just horrible. If they was in the West, they be damn near eliminated. Uh, in the 7th seed, we got the 76ers. Joel Embiid had appendicitis surgery, the other day, so he's out. You know what I'm saying? No telling when he's going to come back. Paul George came off a suspension from, taking some type of medicine that he wasn't supposed to take. Something with his mental or whatever that he had been working on. But either way, if it's on the ban list, you ain't supposed to be taking it. So he had to miss 25 games. And then he came back, shit, still scoring 30 something, 28. So, maybe it's some lasting effects. They got Maxi and stuff. So Philly they play tough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much noise they'll make in the East, but we'll see. At least it gets those top teams. Especially with no Embiid. We got the Orlando Magic. They've been up and down all season. They good here, bad here. They actually lost last night, and you know it moved them down to the eighth. So it's Atlanta Magic. Charlotte's been playing really well. They started off those are like one of those teams like the Clippers. They started off real slow, gained some momentum, start making some shots, start playing their rookies, staying healthy. Uh, Lamelo and the two guard Knappel, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a rookie. He can really shoot the basketball. They hit over 200 threes a piece. Uh, and the first people to do that since Stephen Clay, which is pretty impressive. They're a really exciting team, still young. I don't know how much noise they'll make, but they got to play Miami. You know, they got Bam, and you know they got some. You know, they've been battle tested. They didn't play before, so those games can go either way. I'll probably take Charlotte over Miami, and Charlotte could be either the Magic or the 76ers. So that's actually what I want to see, just because they had some type of scuffling, some other stuff going on. So yeah, I'll take Charlotte to beat whoever wins out of the 76ers in Orlando, and I'll probably take Philly. So it'll probably be Philly playing Charlotte. I'll take Charlotte, and in Charlotte to pull Detroit. First game, and Philly. Uh, Philly they have the well, oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, they'll get Boston and then Philly. So yeah, well, if Philly win, then they'll get the eighth, and then they'll be seven. Yeah, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, so Philly will beat Orlando, they'll get seven, and then Charlotte will beat the Magic, and then they'll get eight. So yeah, that's basically how the East is matching up. And like I said, that's the play-in tournament. It's basically sudden death, so that'll be interesting. That starts on Tuesday. We actually have some breaking news on Luka's injury, so we're gonna tune into that and see what Shams has to say about that.
And DG, all eyes, of course, will be on the health of Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. I'm told that Luka Doncic is traveling back to the United States from Spain later this week and rejoining the Lakers on Friday. But over the last week in Spain, the majority of that time, he's been getting treatment on that hamstring. He's had multiple injections as well to see, can he promote healing? Can he quicken the timeline of his return? It is a grade 2 hamstring strain. And on the other side, Austin Reaves, grade 2 oblique strain. Initially, in early April, his timeline was 4 to 6 weeks. That would put him out at minimum the first week of May. And so both of these guys going into the playoffs, there's an expectation that they will be sidelined for an indefinite period of time. Just how soon? They're both obviously trying to get back ASAP. Well, and DG, all eyes.
Uh, you know, that's tough because that's why I say I'm not gonna get my hopes up. They're injured. They don't know when they gonna come back. They trying different things. They trying different treatments. They rest. So it's gonna be a lot. I have no expectations for the Lakers. But I do. If somebody asks me if I'm gonna pick them to win, yeah, I'm gonna pick them to win. I'm gonna have different scenarios of how we can win. It's a whole bunch of stuff that go in our favor. But I also know it won't be that easy without our two big guns on the team. So yeah, it's definitely a lot to unpack. This NBA playoff should be an exciting one. The play-in is going to be really excited, so I'm definitely going to be tuned into that. You should definitely tune in as well. I'm gonna have immediate reactions after the play-in tournaments games, as far as you know the results of those games. So yeah, that'll conclude this episode of the Wilk Edition. Like I said, if you're new to the stream, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell button, so you know when I'm live and when I upload content. Like I said, this playoff is gonna be pretty crazy, especially if LeBron James can drag them Lakers, just drag them just a little bit to get us to the promised land. So, see you the next episode, and I'm out.